Thought I'd do a little video of this 96 Chevrolet. It's a C1500. It's the work truck edition. It's got the old single seal beam headlights, no power windows, no power locks, just plain Jane. I think the only creature comforts it came with might have been AC and cruise control, which neither of those exist anymore. So starting at the front of the truck here, we have some generic hood scoop. It's not finished yet. The steel hood does still exist underneath it. Trying to finish that up at some point before it gets too cold. I got to take the screws out. It's been bonded to the hood, but what I'm going to do is take the screws out, countersink some large rivets into it, so it, just make sure it don't come apart in the future, because it does vibrate a lot. The front bumper is a fiberglass. I can't remember what brand it was. I don't think it wasn't Harwood, but it was some other company that makes all kind of fiberglass parts for these trucks. I'd like to get a fiberglass hood because it would take a lot of weight off, but when the shipping costs more than the hood, it's a little ridiculous. So for now, decided just to put the scoop on, and we did. Though it's not 100% complete, it is functional. You see I got the cutout there and got the air cleaner and the little air box here. Not a whole lot special under here. We got the MSD set up. Basically a generic imitation blaster coil. We got the MSD billet distributor. The Brodix HV1016 dual plane. It's a big dual plane. Its RPM range is like, I think they rated it like 3,000 RPM to 6,500 out the box. But it's been port matched to the heads and ported. It should flow closer to 7. The motor is supposed to be about 11.5 to 1 compression based on the calculations I made. We got some, I forget what they are, Speed Pro dome pistons. We got Brodix IK200 heads. We got a 650 Demon. It's not a bad carburetor. It's a vacuum secondary carb, which for this application is a little, but I street drive it, so up here in West Virginia where I'm at, there's no drag strips, there's no racing at all, so to build a full out race truck would be kind of pointless. Let's see what else we got going on. The block is a 69 Camaro 350 full bolt main block. It's still got the date code on it, standard bore. I bought it as is, unmolested. The guy had it dipped and cleaned, and I put it to use as is. After making some measurements and seeing that it would work as is, I left it alone. As you can see, the inner fender wells are gone. We got some Schoenfeld. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Schoenfeld, what would be called a fender exit. They go outside the frame. They're pretty awesome 1 3/4 headers. There's a lot of benefits to running those. One of the drawbacks is tire clearance. If this was a 4-wheel drive lifted truck, it'd be freaking phenomenally awesome. But my turning radius obviously is affected because the collector and the tire, they make contact, but it's tolerable. I can live with it. But the good part is all the heat is out from underneath the center of the vehicle. Working, there's no heat on the starter, there's no heat on the transmission, there's no heat on any of my transmission. The exhaust comes, you can see right here between got a little cab corner rust, but you see the exhaust right here? Well, it dumps like right there, just about underneath the gas fill door. I got some little bullet straight through mufflers. The exhaust on this thing is pretty much straight through. It's got some dummy high flow cats, which are straight through. And then it's got the little bullet straight through with a slash cut outlet. You might be able to see them in here. I don't know. They're down in there somewhere. And that's the end of it right there. You see I got it angled away from the inner fender, or the outer fender, just a little bit. Looking at the back of the truck, this still has the 8.5 rear. It's been upgraded. It's got Yukon posi unit, motive gears, Yukon axles, ARP wheel studs. It's been fully rebuilt. The only thing I need to upgrade on it as of right now is the yoke. It's still the original yoke. I did a crush sleeve eliminator, so changing that won't be no big deal. Everything's already set. I did the re-gear myself. It's got a 456 motive gear. Let's see here. What do we got? We got the Mosier brace rear cover. We got some, I forget who made it, Beltec drop shocks. This has got some drop shackles. I forget who made them. This thing used to have 5 leaf springs. Well, it had 4 leaf springs and an overload spring. You know, the big fat overload spring that goes at the bottom. So I removed the excess springs and the overload. So that lowered it some too. And then I put Caltrac bars on it. But you can see the back of them there. Right now it still has the stock fuel tank in the stock location. Though it is smaller than, I think it's the smaller option. I replaced it. This truck had sat about, I don't know, 10, 12 years, maybe a little longer. Used to be Sign Company's work truck. And then I come along and eventually resurrected it. Right now it's got a 700 R4 transmission, but I'm getting ready to change it to another 700 R4 that I had built. It's got a reverse manual valve body. Basically everything that I could upgrade, basically everything I could afford to upgrade. There's a few things that I'd like to have done, but they were just too far outside the price range that I want, you know, the amount of money I wanted to spend, and for what I'm doing, it's just totally unnecessary. It'd be money wasted, and that would have been the upgraded input shaft, the upgraded output shaft. They make a gear change kit to change first and second gear ratios, and I believe they make an upgraded 4th gear drum assembly. None of those things I need for the power range I'm at. You know, I'm guesstimating somewhere in the 450 plus range. It's definitely below 500. I mean, it's stout, but it's not that stout. You know, it's still a 4,000 pound truck. It moves, but you know, moves better than most people probably think it does, but it's still not the fastest thing on the planet. Inside is completely stock, other than the fact that it removes the carpet. This is going to get changed. I think, maybe, I don't know. I gotta do something about the gauge setup in this. Right now, the only real thing I have is a tech. I got an oil and a temperature gauge on the dash up top here. I need to get relocated, but for right now, I got the bare essentials. No speedometer. Don't really need it. I set up my phone's GPS. I downloaded a GPS mile per hour app. So I got an idea what I'm running, you know, based on what gear I'm in and the RPM range, or the tax at. So the transmission I'm getting ready to put in here, it's still a 700 R4, but like I said, it's been upgraded. It's got a reverse manual valve body, so it will not shift unless you make it shift. And it's reverse pattern. So like with a normal vehicle where you put it in drive and you pull it down and it goes, drive, third, second, one, in a 4-speed automatic situation. Instead, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's not going to be any lockup. I'm still running the same TCI converter. It's a 3000 3500 stall. Probably stalls a little bit on the higher side with this combination, being that I got more weight. But it's a pretty decent converter. I mean, it's done great so far. I actually got it from a buddy of mine used. It's, TCI, non-lockup. It's got the anti-balloon plate, so in the event that I would want to possibly run nitrous, I could. The transmission I'm getting ready to put in here would hold it. Not so sure about the engine. It's not really set up for that. Nor is it. I mean, I'm probably at the ragged edge of where I wouldn't want to push it anymore. Right now, the whole truck is set with the goal of 600 horse being my eventual projected output limit, I guess you'd say. But we'll see what happens. Right now we're about 450, so we'll see what happens. I don't want to build something else a little bit stouter, maybe a little bit less radical sounding. I don't know. I like it, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Goals for the future: to put some bucket seats in here, some kind of console shifter. Maybe use the original gauge space, relocate the tack just a little bit. I don't know where I'll put it, but make it more functional. Maybe make it a little more comfortable. I don't know, because like I said, I'm not racing the thing, so going for the absolute lightest possible weight, I really don't have any benefit at this point. It's not like I'm out, trying to gain 1/10 of a second here and there. So I don't know. But anyway, just a little preview.